From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
What it is, happy Thursday, everyone. January 20th, 2022. Welcome to a very, very loaded show. It's Thursday. It's our last show of the week. Tomorrow, we kick off what I've replaced Tech Corner with. It's called Friday Conversations. They're live. They're right here on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you're watching us right now, 11 a.m. Eastern, every single Friday. Tomorrow, my inaugural guest, no other than Mr. James McQuiggan from Know Before. He'll be joining me. We've got an awesome topic, 30 to 35 minutes, folks. This isn't a full hour type of conversation. We'll be taking some of your questions, so we'll be doing about a 15, 20-minute deep dive, and then we are going into some of your comments and questions during the live show, tackling a different cybersecurity challenge from all spectrum, not just tech, but people, image, and so much more. So you don't want to miss it. That's tomorrow. It'll be live, and then it'll be available on every single podcast listening platform. So if you missed it live, don't worry. Just go to your favorite podcast listening platform, subscribe to the CyberHub Podcast, and you'll get it there. I'm so excited about this new segment because it is so in-depth. It's going to be awesome. So good morning to everyone for being here today. Packed show. We're going to be talking about Microsoft, SolarWinds, CISA, a new directive from President Biden, and an Interpol bust, all on the show today. So get your self ready to go. Go check out our brand new website, cyberhubpodcast.com. You can subscribe to our newsletter there and get a lot more information, including catching our friends over at Breaking Into Cybersecurity. So you can go and check out their podcast as well. And today at 1 p.m. Eastern, CISO Thursday. So go and check that out as well. Good morning to Mr. Matt Lee. Scott, good morning to you. Andrew, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Dr. Bob, good morning from Florida. David Hurley, good morning, brother. Good to see you. Anna Lynn, now I know who you are because you're always on LinkedIn and you're always a user. So it's always hard to tell you apart from the frozen tundra. I wonder how frozen it is in the tundra today. Good morning to Brent and David M. Good morning to you as well, folks. Before we get into today's show, though, my voice is getting a little itchy, sketchy. So today I'm going to be saving a lot of it. But a nice warm espresso should soothe my voice, right? So my double espresso, whatever you're drinking this morning, coffee cup, cheers. All right, let's get into what's going on. Microsoft releases an emergency fix for Windows servers and VPN bugs. This is an out-of-band update to address multiple issues caused by the January 2022 patch Tuesday just last week. Microsoft, when it released the updates today, they're for some versions of Windows. These update addresses issues related to VPN connectivity, Windows Server domain controllers restarting, virtual machine start failures, and REFS formatted removable media failing to mount. All out-of-band release today are available for download on the Microsoft Update Catalog. Some of them can be installed directly through Windows Update as optional updates. You have to manually check for updates if you want to install the emergency fixes through Windows Update because they are optional and they will not install automatically. That's critical for you to know. This isn't an auto install like your Patch Tuesday patches per se. This is out-of-band, and so it's optional, but you do want to get it taken care of. Windows 8.1, Windows Servers 2012 R2, also Windows Server 2012, Windows 11, Windows Server 2022, and Windows 10 with a layer of versions, including Windows Server 2019, Windows 7 SPI, and Windows Server 2008 SP2. This is significant. Those who can't install the out-of-bands can remove the vulnerabilities that exist, including all the elevated commands that you see right there on the screen. I'm just not going to repeat them. It'll take too long, and I want to get through the story, folks. But all of our show notes, all of the stories are all linked in the show notes. You can go catch them there as well. Really, really significant. All right, let's see. Who else is joining us here? Good morning to Stephen. Good morning to Chris. Annalyn. -9. Oh, man, that is cold. I'm cold just reading it. Good morning, Mr. Paul. Good morning, David. And yeah, definitely stay warm, Annalyn. Stay warm. Layer up, turn on the heat, make yourself a good coffee, and stick there. All right, folks. So On our second story today, we're talking about hackers exploiting a new SolarWinds Serv-U bug related to the Log4j attack. This one is significant. Microsoft on Wednesday disclosed details of a new security vulnerability in the SolarWinds Serv-U software that is said is being weaponized by threat actors to propagate attacks leveraging the Log4j flaw to compromise targets. It's tracked the CVE 2021-35247. The CVSS score is 5.3. The issue is actually an input validation vulnerability that could allow attackers to build a query given some input and send that query over the network without any sanitation. The flaw, which was discovered by security researcher Jonathan Baror, affects Serv-U versions 15.2.5 and prior and has been addressed in the Serv-U version 15.3. So if you're not in that version, you are likely to be attacked. You could already have had it take place and you don't know it. SolarWinds also points out that no downstream effect has been detected as the LDAP servers ignored improper characters. And Microsoft were mere attempts to exploit the flaw, or if they were, it's not immediately clear if the attacks detected by Microsoft were actual attacks to exploit the flaw or if they were ultimately successful. So there's a bunch of research on this. And a new China hacking group has been previously observed exploiting a critical security vulnerabilities affecting the SolarWinds Serv-U to install malicious programs on infected machines as well. So SolarWinds just can't seem to get out of this one, folks. Just going to chase them around for a little bit. All right, here we go. Let's move on to our next one. CISA is urging U.S. orgs to prepare for data wiping cyber attacks. The ordinance of this one, the notice, comes out after we've seen a data wiping attack on the Ukrainian government agencies and businesses. As I've said previously this week, what we see go on in the Ukraine is just the beginning of what we all will face at some point. So now that we know the TTPs and the IOCs, CISA, under the leadership of Director Easterly, is actually doing something about this. They're letting people know, look, this is better than ever before from CISA. CISA would wait until something happens, then they would do the warning. Here, they're just saying, like, we know the Russian behavior. So let's get everyone ready for it. So this data wiping malware was deployed to corrupt the data and cause Windows devices to become inoperable. Sources tell journalist Kim Zetter that the attacks likely conducted the attackers likely conducted the website defacement using CVE 2021-32648 vulnerability in the October CMS platform. And then the Ukrainian cyber police say they are investigating the use of Log4j vulnerabilities and stolen creds as another means to access networks and servers. CISA is urging business leaders and U.S. orgs to take the following steps to prevent similar destructive attacks on their network. All organizations, regardless of sector and size, should immediately implement the steps below. Validate all remote access to your organization network, and privileged or admin access require MFA and not SMS MFA. Please do use Microsoft or Google Authenticator or any other application you choose. Ensure that software is up to date. Prioritize updating that addresses known exploited vulnerabilities that have been identified by CISA. Confirm that the organization IT personnel has disabled all ports and protocols that are not essential for business purposes. And if the organization is using cloud services, ensure that IT personnel have reviewed and implemented strong controls outlined in the CISA guidance. And sign up for the CISA-free cyber hygiene services, including vulnerability scanning, to help reduce exposure through threats. If you are going through an intrusion, CISA recommends ensuring that people are people are focused on identifying and quickly assessing any unexpected or unusual network behavior. Confirm that the organization's entire network is protected by either an antivirus or EDR solution, something of that nature. And if you're working with Ukrainian organizations or people that are based out of Ukraine, keep your eye out for that kind of stuff as well. And then run a tabletop exercise at this time would also be extremely, extremely helpful. That's coming from CISA. President Biden yesterday signed a national security memorandum aimed at strengthening the cybersecurity of networks used in the country's national defense as administration issues warning of potential digital strikes by Russian hackers over the escalating crisis in Russia. The 17-page document specifies how the national security systems must meet outlined standards for this kind of stuff. Modernizing our security defenses and protecting all federal networks is a priority for the Biden administration, according to this national security memorandum, which raises the bar for the cybersecurity and the most sensitive systems. The memorandum gives the National Security Agency some of the regulatory powers that were bestowed upon DHS and its CISA by the May 2021 directive. Under the new memorandum, the Pentagon and the 18-member clandestine community would be required to identify their national security systems and report any cyber incidents to the NSA, which is already the national manager for all federal government classified systems. This is really interesting here, guys. Really, really interesting. Something I'm a bit concerned here. I'm going to share a personal feeling. It seems like we started well on this cybersecurity thing, focusing everything to CISA. CISA has a great private-public partnership, especially under Director Jen Easterly. She's been doing an phenomenal job, really phenomenal job. Now they're shifting it to the NSA. I'm a bit uneasy with that. I feel like we're going to have a type of cyber zero day here on our nation that's going to give and that's going to give the government a lot of power in the cyber realm that they don't have today, and possibly ruin some of that competition, very similar to what happened after 9/11 and the Patriot Act. Something we got to keep watching. I know we all want the government to take security more seriously, but we also need it to be done within scope where it doesn't infringe on people's privacy or businesses' rights to do business how they deem to do business. So something very to keep an eye out with this new directive. I'm a bit concerned with how the power is shifting from CISA to NSA. It took CISA a very long time to earn people's confidence. So keep that in mind. But we'll continue to look at that. Our final news for the day. Good news, all right? Because I don't want to send you off on a Thursday going like, oh man, it's all doom and gloom. Interpol busted 11 members of a Nigerian business email compromise cybercrime gang. The coordinated law enforcement operation resulted in 11 members belonging to a Nigerian cybercrime gang notoriously for perpetrating business email compromise attacks, targeting more than 50,000 victims in recent years. The disruption of the BEC network is the result of a 10-day investigation dubbed Operation Falcon 2, undertaken by Interpol along with participation from the Nigeria Police Force Cybercrime Police Unit in December of last year. Cybersecurity firms Group IB and Palo Alto's Unit 42, both of which shared information on the threat actors and their infrastructure, said 6 of the 11 are believed to be part of a prolific group of Nigerian cyber actors known as Silver Terrier. So another 11 folks taken down. These guys definitely just more companies now that can keep their hard-earned money. So, yeah, that's it for us here today, guys. Really keep your eye out. Go get your Microsoft stuff patched, please. If you're a SolarWinds customer, please make sure your Serv-U is on the right version so you're not victim to that. And get ready. What's going on in the Ukraine is going to come towards the U.S. We don't have a lot of deterrence as a nation today. We just don't. That's the simple truth. We're seeing Russia, China, and Iran all step up their cyber crime activities and cyber operations. This is part of what they want to use in diplomacy, and they're going to start doing some high-profile attacks. So if you're a high-profile company or support one, you've got to start crossing your T's, dotting your I's, paying close attention, brief your SOC teams effectively, work with your security partners, and it's going to take a village to deal with the onslaught that's about to come our way. All right. Celebrate the Interpol bust as well. Let's end on a good note. All right. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. James McCougan kicking off our CyberHub Podcast Friday conversations. You can do that. Also, if you want to be a guest on any of our shows, you can go to cyberhubpodcast.com and apply to be a guest right there as well. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being here. We'll be back again tomorrow and then Monday at 9 a.m. with another awesome show. Until then, have a great rest of your day and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.